Optimus has been through so much when it comes to the Skybound continuity. I've made countless videos on him, and that probably won't ever stop as his character arc has continued to be a masterpiece. I truly believe that this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Optimus Primes we've ever received. Issue 20 of Skybound brings us back to an Optimus that is at the end of his rope. Tired, beaten, and lost, we see someone who can no longer be the spark of hope amongst his friends. Someone who is a leader, but has lost the strength to lead. What does someone like Prime do in a situation like this, though? How does a leader continue to lead when he himself struggles to see the light in himself? Well, that's what I want to talk about here today. But I also wanted to mention that something I've been very adamant about on this channel is that I do not cover monthly issues of really any comics, and there's two reasons why. Number one is creators like Swizz Prime and Moonbase 3 already do it wonderfully. I never feel like there's a need for me to add my own spin on these things because their videos are just so great in that way, and I like to try and focus on character arcs when we've had large enough development on them. Number two is that my local comic book shop is about an hour and 45 minutes away from me, so going there regularly to pick up comics is not something that I do, and that's also why I mainly collect digitally and don't pick up issues in single release when they come out. But issue 20 is so good that I'm breaking both of those rules. I drove out of my way to pick up an actual physical copy of this comic because it just means so much to me. You see, I was getting a little worried that Daniel Warren Johnson had too many characters to juggle, as Spike had taken a back seat as of late. It was a problem that I was having until this issue. We finally get to see Spike and Optimus reunite and get the father and son time that they desperately need. I don't need this comic to answer every question when it comes to Sparky entering the Matrix. I just need the characters to have the discussion. And they did it in such a wonderful way. Seeing Optimus so broken and beaten, Spike gives him an amazing pep talk about being the light in the darkness, lighting the darkest moments for others, all to see the next beautiful sunset on the horizon, whether that be on Earth or on Cybertron. Once again, Johnson's words with Corona's art just oozes these heartwarming feelings on the page. Seeing Optimus so down on his luck is hard, but the characters around him won't allow him to waver for long. Even the aerial bots take note of this when they are brought back online, by mentioning that Optimus looks troubled. They didn't really question why he had Megatron's arm, but that's okay because we need to keep things moving. But they even gather around Optimus and give him a huge group hug, physically showing him that he's not alone. There is hope. There is a sunset waiting along the horizon for everyone. They just have to stick together and hold each other up. And this is how Optimus is going to be able to lead, even when he is uncertain in himself, even when he is struggling with the anger and the regrets of his past. He's not perfect. This is something I talked about in my very first video on this channel about Optimus being somewhat naive in certain areas. I think he's grown so much past those naiveties for when he first landed on Earth, but he's still a character. Dare I even say he's still human-like, at least. In the way that he has doubts, he's scared, he's tired, he doesn't know if he can do it, but he knows that he has to do it for all those around him. And so this is a beautiful moment with all these characters that they essentially come to him and say, hey, we know you're tired. We know that you feel like you can't do it. And that's okay. That's okay because we will hold you up. We will do it together. You're not alone. Speaking of not being alone, another wonderful aspect here is the return of Jetfire. Daniel Warren Johnson has stated before that he didn't forget about Jetfire, and I know we're all holding our breaths to see if he'd return, and so it's nice to see that he did. And while his appearance is short, it's nice to see him back in general, even if Thundercracker is kind of lurking in the shadows of these panels. Many people have said that he will become an Autobot, but I think this is so far from the truth. Thundercracker is a Decepticon through and through. He's just sick and tired of their way of life being thrown aside for petty squabbles. Remember, he's not yet currently aware of Megatron's return. Speaking of Megatron, he's busy disposing of Astrotrain, according to the ways of their people. He is challenged, and so Megatron must show his hand of strength, and it is a hand of oppression. Astrotrain is no match for even a beaten and broken Megatron. Furthering this, Starscream is fully rebuilt, only to then be immediately demolished by his master. It's a funny yet kind of sad moment as we think to ourselves, surely Megatron isn't going to let him back into the fray of the Decepticons. But no, Megatron just wants to make a point, and to continue to abuse Starscream by forcing him to execute Astrotrain. He might be offline for now, but I'm confident we will see his quote-unquote lover figure out who they were in the end. This is for sure a story thread placed here on purpose for future use, but obviously Astrotrain is not one of the main characters, and so he has to be put aside for now. But I'm sure we will see him yet again. But the sheer magnitude of Megatron's strength on the pages here is just unmatched. The issue's not over, though, as Johnson still needs to update some more characters like Ultra Magnus. Now, I won't go too much into detail here, as Moonbase 3 is far superior than I am with G.I. Joe knowledge, but I'm sure Magnus will be playing a larger role in that series in the coming future. It is interesting that we haven't seen Carly yet, though. Perhaps she's just been imprisoned by the Joes elsewhere. We'll see. Cliffjumper and Shredhead round out the story on Cybertron as we get another brief glimpse into Cliff's struggles. He seems somewhat dissatisfied to a degree that Shredhead cannot fully remember who he, or they, once were. We're in uncharted territory here with the merging of multiple sparks, but it's obvious that Shredhead is young and brash. He's ready to go save Carly at a moment's notice without knowing any more details, something that for sure will have consequences. This issue is working double time to catch everyone up for what's coming down the road. The finale from Daniel Warren Johnson's run in issue number 24. Having all these characters who I felt were being left behind have great moments is exactly what I needed. I never doubted Daniel Warren Johnson. After all, I own almost every single comic book he's ever published. But I was getting worried that Spike, Magnus, Jetfire, and a few others were being pushed to the side for other characters who were just being introduced. It felt almost like we had too many characters. And yet, here we are, with 5 new characters like Silverbolt and his team, while we're also getting much-needed development for mainstays like Spike. The action and mystery on display with Megatron and the Joes is great, but it's these quiet moments between friends that keeps drawing me in so close. Spike and Optimus talking about a sunset? It's such a good scene that rivals even their first sit-down chat in issue 2. It's almost a mirror depiction of these two characters. At that time, Optimus was the wiser and the more brave character to Spike, and he was telling him about the world. And now, it's almost the opposite. These two sit down and Optimus is tired. Optimus doesn't know the answer, but Spike has learned so much in this series that he is able to give Optimus hope. Johnson knows how to write heart, and he's doing it time and time again. A few side notes. It's fun to see that Silverbolt is afraid of heights, something from the Generation 1 cartoon if I recall correctly. Also, in the letters section, we learn that Megatron has a code of honor to him. This is why he repaired and revived other cons before himself. Obviously, this code allows him to abuse Starscream in the ways he does, but I'm not complaining. That's just the way things are for Starscream. That's just too bad. I don't rate issues here on my channel, as I don't really cover them normally anyways, and so this might be a bit of a spoiler for the upcoming Teletran Tapes episode, but this issue is a solid 9 out of 10 for me. Now, why not a 10 out of 10? Well, I'd like to wait till issue 24 is released and then do a full ranking of every issue. And so if there's an issue coming up that's even better than this one, I'd like to leave a space open for it. I, of course, will change my scores over time as my feelings sit longer, but this issue, for me, takes the cake for being one of the greatest pieces of Transformers fiction ever. And I think that this is just a fantastic example of Daniel Warren Johnson knowing his material and writing a story that is just unforgettable. And he does that by giving us a message that is so strong and so relevant to today's world, to today's culture, to today's times, really to time forever. For any culture, for any time period, for anything that you're going through, the message here is what's so important. And that's that there is hope, especially when you allow others to help hold you up.